start this live by being thankful and grateful. So that's number one. So thank you. Thank you, God, for allowing me to be able to wake up today to see another day. Thank you for allowing all of us to be able to see another day. Thank you for the breath in our lungs, the hope in our heart. Thank you for allowing us to be healthy and happy and rejuvenated. Thank you for allowing us to take a step forward even when we don't know what's next. Thank you for allowing us to lead by example, right? Allow me to really lead by example, not to just show the way, but to go the way. Thank you for finding peace, living in peace, breathing peace, adding peace to anybody and everybody that I touch and come across, chat. I'm just so grateful to have the roof over my head, the food in my refrigerator, to be able to connect with people all around the world, all different races, ethnicities, backgrounds, cultures, religions. At the end of the day, we are just one race, and that is the human race. So thank you for allowing us to connect with people. But thank you for allowing us to lock arms and build something amazing that could outlive us, because we know we can't live forever, but what we create can. So just thank you. I'm just so thankful. I'm so grateful. Amen. All right. So I love starting my days like that. I do that the moment I wake up. That's the first thing I do when I open my eyes. I don't touch my phone. I don't pet my dog. I don't talk to nobody. I just literally sit there and I say all these things to myself. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you add that into your routine. That should be the first thing you do, because that's where I get my energy from. That's where it's like, Eazie, how you so positive? Eazie, how you so lifted? I'm the first one to talk to myself. And that really activates the conversation we're going to have today, because the conversation is when you finally trust your own voice. All right. Thank you, Stroud. Right. When you finally trust your own voice. Now, really quick, if you don't mind, right, share out the live, because there's somebody out there that's going through a silent battle and you don't know, right? Somebody out there is they're smiling and they're holding it all together, but really deep inside they're falling apart, right? They're doing it for their kids, they're doing it for their spouse, they're doing it for their job, but they're falling apart. So if you take and press the screen, take your thumb and hold the screen, it will allow, and a bunch of names will pop up. It will allow you to share the live seriously. It could be your friends, it could be you going through a silent battle. You don't know. I mean, you know, but nobody else knows. So I love for people to get around the fire. Muneka, welcome in, right? That don't even know they're supposed to be here. That's the power. What's going on, Jessica? Welcome in. Yes, Visage, yes, I am. Today's your birthday. Happy birthday. All right, listen, thank you for sharing out the live. Now, here's the topic. I want you guys to really listen and absorb. If you got a pen or and a paper or a pencil or something, please grab it, because I'm going to say things that it's going to sound good, but I want you to remember what I'm saying, right? Velvet, welcome in. I want you guys to remember happy birthday, right? If it's your birthday. If somebody else's birthday too, that I text, it's their birthday too. So happy birthday if it's your birthday. But I want you guys just to listen and absorb, all right? Just listen and absorb. I'm going to try to read the comments as much as possible, but I'm going to be locked in right now, all right? So I appreciate you guys tapping in. Thank you, right? Let's get it. So check me out. There comes a moment in life when you realize the loudest opinion around you aren't the wisest ones. Okay? They aren't the wisest ones. So this is when you got to understand trusting your own voice. Let this year be the year you trust your voice. You trust yourself, because you got the power. All right? So understand that, right? So because for so long, many of us were taught to doubt ourselves, right? We were taught to ask for permission. We were taught to second guess ourselves. We like to second guess what we felt in our spirit because someone else sounded more confident than you. Let me say that one more time. We were taught to second guess the way we feel in our spirit because somebody else sounded more confident than you. Somebody sounded like they knew what they was talking about. You hear what I'm saying? That's the big deal. What's going on, chat? Right? That's for real. Somebody taught you that, right? You were taught to ask for permission. You were taught to doubt yourselves, and just because somebody else sounded more confident than you. All right, keep that in mind, because that right there, you got to understand that healing begins when you stop outsourcing your intuition. Victoria the goddess in the building, Christina the goddess in the building. What's up, y'all? Right? Hear what I'm saying right now. Healing begins when you stop outsourcing your intuition. That's why it's called It's intuition. That's why it's called inspiration. It's inside you. It's not outside you. It's not outside, right? It's not at your local bank or your grocery store. It's not in your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your spouse, your kids. It's in you. You get what I'm saying? It's in you. You understand what I'm saying? We need you on. We need on school. I'll check that out. I've been hearing about it. I'll definitely check that out once I learn some more about it. But check it out. Trusting your own voice doesn't mean you know everything. I want you to understand what I'm saying right now. Again, if you got a pen and a pad, grab a pen and a pad, because what I'm about to say is going to impact you in ways, but you're not going to remember this at 20. You're not going to remember this in a couple hours. You might not remember this later. You might not remember this in your next argument. You might not remember this in your next debate. You might not remember this when you're feeling sad. So if you got a pen and a pad, right, grab it for real. Right? Don't let this be one thing that goes in and out, in one ear and out the other. Okay? Your voice. Here's the thing. Trusting your own voice doesn't mean you know everything. It means you learned enough about yourself to listen when something feels off. Does that make sense? When something feels off. It means that you're able to trust your voice even when something feels right. Even if it doesn't make sense. You're able to say, hold on, I feel what I feel. Right? I feel something ain't right. I feel something is good. That's a big deal. Jen, thank you. Jen and Juice says she's taking notes. I love that. See, your voice was always there. Your voice is here now. Okay? I see you guys going crazy in the chat. Your voice was always there. But here's the thing. It got quieter every time you ignored it to keep the peace. It got quieter every time you chose approval over alignment. It got quieter every time you let fear talk louder than truth. So your voice got quiet. So over time, you stop trusting your intuition. You stop trusting what feels right. You stop trusting what feels wrong. You stop trusting yourself in general because somebody else might sound a little more confident to you or talk to you in ways they're like, man, I really needed that. And don't get me wrong, people might be able to hit a part of you that you can't. That's cool. But your intuition, you got to start trusting your voice. There's things that you've done or places that you've been when it was like it wasn't even your idea. It wasn't even your decision. You thought it was. Somebody told you were good at that, so you did it. Somebody told you you'd be great at that, so you tried it. Right? But now you're like, damn, where am I at now? Where am I at right now? Right? And at first, trusting yourself is going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel uncomfortable. All right? Trusting yourself is going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to hesitate. Right? You're going to hesitate at times. You're going to wonder if you're being dramatic or if you're being selfish or if you're even wrong. But if you never sat and tried to trust your intuition, right? Then how are you ever going to guide yourself in certain situations when you're by yourself? How are you going to guide yourself when you're by yourself if you never trust your intuition? So start. Because whether it's right or you're wrong, you're learning like, oh, I can rely on me. I can understand that gut feeling, right? It's going to be very uncomfortable when you start trusting yourself. Because you're like, man, I'm so used to me asking permission. I'm so used to looking for validation. I'm so used to this and this and that. No. Right? You got to understand that when it's gonna feel like you're being dramatic. You're gonna think you're being selfish. You're gonna think that you're wrong, but that's not doubt. That's conditioning leaving your body because you were conditioned a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? You were conditioned a certain type of way to not believe in yourself, to ask for permission, to get quiet in rooms, even if you felt something was off or right. Right? You're so when you gotta get rid of it, it's weird. You're like, I'm so used to it's like having a job and then you just go straight into entrepreneurship. You quit your job and go, I'm gonna go into business for myself. It's a huge difference. Because yeah, Maybe you didn't like somebody telling you what time you had to be at work and what time you had to leave. But you know what makes entrepreneurship hard? Nobody tells you when to show up. Nobody holds you accountable. Nobody tells you when you're right or wrong. Nobody. That shit is hard to do it yourself every time. You gotta be like, get up. I gotta do it. You gotta force yourself. There's gonna be days you don't want to do it. Nobody's gonna say, hey, you know, you missed work today. No. So that shit is tough. You gotta, that's when the inspiration has to kick in. That's when the intuition has to kick in, right? That's a big difference. Most people want to do it. I want to start my own business. I want to do that. That shit is tough when nobody's holding you accountable. You're like, man, it was a lot easier when somebody was like, yo, if you come to work late, you might lose your job. So it forced you to do something. But when you don't got that, oh my goodness. You understand what I'm saying? Oh man, huge difference. It's a huge difference. But that's when you start trusting. That's inspiration. That's when the inspiration comes. That's when the intuition, right? That discipline has to kick in. But the discipline now to trust your intuition, that has to kick in now. Let me rephrase that. You don't have to do anything. You get to. You don't have to wake up. You get to wake up. You don't have to go to work. You get to wake up. You don't even have to be here. You get to be here today. It's a choice. Because if any of us wanted to end it all, we could. But it's a choice you make. So you're not forced to do anything in your life that you're doing right now. It's a choice we're making. So understand the choice of trusting your intuition. Thank you, Sha. Appreciate the love, right? Trusting your intuition is what we're doing this year. Trusting your own voice this year is what we're doing this year. You get what I'm saying? So understand that, right? Your voice was always there. So again, at first, it's going to feel uncomfortable when you start trusting your own voice. You're going to hesitate. It's going to feel like you're being dramatic or selfish or wrong. But that's not doubt. That's conditioning leaving your body. You were conditioned to think like that and move like that and do what you do right now. That is called conditioning. All right? Because when you spent years being corrected or dismissed or misunderstood or it's like self-trust becomes rebellious. It becomes unknown. It becomes like you don't know yourself, right? Because you've been dismissed and corrected and misunderstood. So self-trust is going to feel like it's being rebellious. You're going to be like, I'm supposed to trust myself now? I was taught not to trust myself. I was taught to rely on this and do that. And you get what I'm saying? So it's going to feel like that. All right? It feels like stepping out. It's going to feel like you're stepping out without a safety net. It's almost going to feel like you're bungee jumping without the cord or power, right? You're literally, you're skydiving without the parachute. You're going to be like, oh my God, I got to trust myself now? Yeah. But here's the truth. Because here's the truth. No one has to live with the consequences of your choices but you. No one. You get what I'm saying? No one has to live with the consequences of your truth but you. No one. You do. So if you're not trusting your own intuition, if you're not listening to your own voice, and you're following or doing what somebody told you to do, it's almost like, whatever, they don't got to deal with the consequences, you do. They don't got to live that life, you do. You get what I'm saying? It is. Right? It is. Here's what I'm saying. When you finally trust your own voice, you stop explaining every move. You stop explaining why you did what you did and why you said what you said. Janae, we got another super fan in the building. Shout out to the super fans in the building. Right? You stop explaining them things. You do. You stop explaining your every move. You stop justifying your boundaries. You stop saying, I'm sick and tired of this. I'm tired of you disrespecting me. I'm tired of being here. I'm tired of dealing with you. You stop saying that. I don't got to justify my boundaries. I don't got to worry about if you respect my boundaries. My boundaries respect me. Meaning I'm in control. Meaning I created the boundaries. The boundaries didn't create me. So I'm not worried about you respecting my boundaries. I'm respecting my boundaries. And my boundaries won't allow you to cross this line. So in the meantime, in between time, I'll see you. Don't call me because I'm not picking up. Right? As a matter of fact, you just don't block. I ain't even got to worry about you. I'm serious. So understand that. The decisions, right? When you finally trust your own voice, you stop explaining every move. You stop justifying your boundaries. You stop needing permission to choose what brings you peace. Why I gotta ask for permission, right? Why do I gotta ask for permission to do something that brings me peace? Think about that. When you start trusting your own voices like that, your decisions become quieter but stronger. All right? Your decisions become quieter, but they become stronger. Because I don't got to tell everybody my next move. I don't got to tell everybody what I'm about to do. I don't got to tell everybody how I'm going to succeed. Thank you, guys. Jen and Juice, thank you for adding to the goal. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Right? You don't got to tell everybody. Right? You did? Mason, appreciate the love, man. Thank you for the stop, right? Literally, you don't got to do that no more. Do you know how dope that is? Do you know how dope that is? Your decisions become quieter but stronger. You move with intention instead of impulse. Like you had this already planned out, mapped out. So somebody think they got the upper hand on you. Like I already mapped this whole thing out, right? I'm not moving off impulse. I already knew I was busting a move, right? You listen before you react. When I say you listen before you react, I'm not thinking about my reply when you talk. I'm not thinking about how am I going to reply to you. I'm just listening and feeling, right? I'm trying to understand, right? I'm trying to understand, understand, then overstand. Understanding is like the basic. Most of us want to be understood. They're like, man, I just want somebody to understand me. That is the basic. I can understand you and still debate you. But when I understand you, I'm feeling what you're feeling. I'm cutting off my reply. I'm cutting off my answer, and I'm putting myself in your shoes. When I understand this, I can see why you do what you do, right? If I was you, I probably would have done the same. That's how much I feel what you're feeling. I'm not you, but I can, if I was, I can say, oh, I can see why you felt or said that or did that. Understanding is just, yeah, I hear you, but I don't got to feel you. I don't got to, you get what I'm saying? People just want to reply. Let me try to be in your shoes and understand why you did what you did. I don't got to agree with it, but I can say, I get it. Right? I get it. That's what's up. I get it. I am, man. Right? So here's what I'm saying, though. Here's what I'm saying. Right? When you move with intention and not impulse, and when you listen before you react, and when your decisions become quieter and stronger, right? That's when life starts to feel aligned. That's when you feel like you start meeting the right people. That's when you feel like you was in the right places. That's when you feel like you're like, oh my God, I was meant to talk to you. Oh my God. Like that happens to me all the time. And it'd be like, man, I was just about to go to sleep, or man, I was just about to leave the store, or I wasn't gonna show up to this place today, but I do, and then we meet. And it's like, oh, this was meant to happen. This was meant for us to connect and be friends and build or whatever it was, right? But trusting your voice doesn't make you stubborn. It makes you grounded. I want you to write that down. Trusting my voice doesn't make me stubborn. It makes me grounded. I'm able to put my roots into the ground and stand on business, right? I'm able to stand on business, right? It means you honor your experiences instead of dismissing them. Because no matter how crazy your life could have been or how effed up our lives are, whatever it is, right? Whether even if you was right and you left crazy people behind, there's always something you can fix about yourself. There's always something you can work on to be a better person. See, I understand that. I'm at a point where I'm healing. I'm at a healed part of my life where I understand even if I'm right, I still can elevate something about me. I still can be a better person. I still can heal even more. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, when you're at a different list, different levels to healing. You know you're at a real high level of healing when whatever you go through doesn't affect your heart. It doesn't make you bitter. It doesn't make you, oh, I'm going to stop giving people time. Or no, it makes you more clear. It doesn't change your heart. It changes your standards, right? Now you're like, man, When I'm meeting with somebody and we're talking what's your credit score. We're not saying what's your favorite color no more. I just want to know if you're building something in your life. I want to know if you're going somewhere. Your combos is different. The talks is different. It's different. We ain't asking, can you cook? We're not asking, do you like to go out on walks to the beach? What's your credit score? Are you working on yourself? I'm talking about credit score within yourself. I'm not talking about, if you got a good credit score, great. I'm talking about within yourself. How much credit are you taking for your life where it's at today? You see, we want credit when we do something, but we don't want credit where we're at. See, if my life is where it's at, I can't blame my exes and all the people that did me wrong, because they're not going to take credit for the shitty things I got, all the bad shit I got, all the bad habits, all the trauma. They're not going to take credit for that. So are you taking credit for that? You saying, you know what? Even if it happened to me, I allowed it. I gave them the time. I'm not bitter. I'm smarter. I'm healed. And guess what? I'll never allow that again. I would never. Once I see a red flag, it's a red flag. It's not an orange flag. It's not a pink flag. It's not a. Is that a? No, it's a flag. I'm gonna say, yo, it was dope to meet you. You're amazing. I'm not overlooking it. I'm gonna say, yo, that person got some things they need to work on. That's cool. And I'm not here to tell you. I'm here to, hey, keep moving. You understand what I'm saying? So trusting your voice doesn't mean you're stubborn. It means you're grounded, right? It means you honor their experiences instead of dismissing them. It means you stop gaslighting yourself into saying or into staying where you've outgrown. How many times have you went back to your ex? How many times you picked up the phone for somebody who was toxic? How many times you allowed somebody to disrespect you? We're gaslighting ourselves into staying in places we already outgrown. We've outgrown that person. We outgrown that situation. We outgrown that atmosphere. We outgrown that topic. Why? We keep gassing ourselves and saying, I'm going to stay right here and let people disrespect me. I'm going to stay right here where I'm not celebrated. I'm going to stay right here where people only notice all the shit I do wrong, but nothing I do right. You've outgrown that place. Stop gaslighting yourself to stay in there. It's time to move. I feel you, Caroline. I feel like we all have been there. Some of us are reflecting right now. And this is not to tell you and so you could bash yourself. This is to bring acknowledgement. The only way to take accountability is to acknowledge. You got to acknowledge. There's 3 steps to accountability. You got to acknowledge, you got to accept, and you got to change. That's the only way. That's why people say, man, you don't take accountability, because you got to acknowledge what's happening, that it's a problem, even if you don't see it. You got to accept that, yeah, you played a part, or you're the problem, regardless of what it is, you played a part in it. And then you got to change. You can't, it's not about you changing a person. What's up, y'all? It's not about y'all changing a person. It's about you changing something better in you. Because even if everybody around you was better, if nobody ticked you off, if nobody got on your nerves, if everybody did what you said, it doesn't make you a better person. That makes them a better person. That only changes them for the better. It doesn't change you for the better. The only way you change for the better is you acknowledging, you accepting that you played a part or you were the problem, and changing something better in you. So your next relationship isn't going down the drain from the beginning. So your next friendship isn't going down the drain from the beginning. You understand what I'm saying? That's a big deal. You begin to recognize the difference between fear and intuition. All right? Fear and intuition, right? Fear is loud. It's urgent. It's panic. That's fear. Intuition, it's calm. It's steady. It's persistent. And when I say persistent, it means you breaking through even when it hurts. You're getting through the process even when you don't want to do it. You're not turning back even when you want to look back. You're taking a rear view mirror off the car and you're saying, I don't even want to look back there no more. But think about it. Why is your rear view mirror so small, but your windshield is so big? Because the past only got this on you. That's all they got on you. the future got so much more for you in store. So much more for you in store. And once you learn the difference between fear and intuition, all right? Once you understand the difference between fear and intuition, you stop asking everyone, what do you think? What do you think about this idea? What do you think if I should do this? You stop asking, you start trusting your intuition. You start asking yourself, what feels true? Not what do I think? What do I feel? I stop asking everybody what they think, and I start doing everything I feel. I start asking myself, what feels true? Juicy, welcome in, right? Alicia, thank you for the heartbeat, right? You start asking yourself these things. That's a big deal. You start taking control. Once you know the difference, everything changes. Everything changes. Because clarity doesn't come from noise. It doesn't come in a chaotic environment. It doesn't come when you're overthinking, right? It doesn't. It comes from listening. And how do you listen? When you meditate. See, if you meditate, that's how you hear God. Whether you're a believer or not, it doesn't matter. The universe, whatever you want to call it, right? If you listen and you listen, the word breath origins from spirit. That's what it means. Breath means spirit. So when you breathe, right, that's your spirit. That's God, that God lives in you. You have a spirit. So when you're trying to look for God, God's like, I've been with you every step of the way. Why do you think it says, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans? Why do you think that's a saying? Because he lives in you. So if you breathe and you meditate and hear your breath, hear your breath. I bet if you took a deep breath like that 10 times, you'll be so lightheaded that your thoughts will automatically slow down. And when your thoughts slow down, they get clearer. You stop overthinking. That's why they always say, why do you think when people are panicking, they're like, breathe? Why is the first thing that ever happens to you in anything in your life, they always tell you to breathe. But people don't tell you why to breathe. They don't tell you why. When you breathe, just like this, try it with me. The reason why over time that'll make you lightheaded is because we normally don't breathe like that. We breathe really shallow. Humans are shallow breathers. We breathe really low. When somebody can't even hear you. But when you take deep breaths, that's how you meditate. Take deep breaths. You're interacting with your spirit. That spirit is connected to who? God. And what are you doing? You're just listening. You're not even thinking over time because you're just listening to your breath. Woo! Whole different ball game. I'm telling you, it's a whole different ball game, right? Clarity doesn't come from noise. It comes from listening. Trusting your voice won't make everybody comfortable. Keep that in mind. Trusting your voice won't make everybody comfortable. It won't. Some people benefit from you doubting yourself. Oh! Some people benefit from you doubting yourself. Oh my goodness, Evelyn, I'm about to take him to church, Chat. Oh, I got the chills right now. Think about how many times you doubted yourself, and you didn't know people was benefiting off of that. Dang, I'm telling you, man. Oh, crazy. Some people benefit off you doubting yourself. Some of your connections were built off of your silence. People only fuck with you because you just kept things to yourself. You know what I mean? You like, damn, if I really told you the truth, you wouldn't like me. If I really was a real friend and I really let you, you know what I'm saying? You wouldn't fuck with me. So some connections are built on your silence. Is that a real connection? Right? But we usually tell our partner, just let me be me. But we won't do that to our friends. Right? We're like, yeah, I can't really tell them. But people pleasers. For real. People who do people pleasers have a stressful life most of the time because they never understand why people just change up. It's like, what do you mean? Everything changes. The trees outside change. The grass you got to keep mowing changes. Your kids grow up and change. Your pets are going to change. Everything is going to change. You think you're not supposed to change? The reason why it feels weird is because you don't change. That's why it feels weird. Nikaboo. We got another super fan in the building. I'm telling you, that's why it feels like that. It feels like that. Because we're thinking, I don't got to change. Not me. No, everything changes. You got to keep that in mind. Everything changes. Okay? I'm almost done here, chat. Right? Again, like I said, some people were benefiting off you doubting yourself. Some people, some connections you have now were built on your silence. Okay? But understand what I'm saying right now. Understand, hear me what I'm about to say right now. When you finally trust your own voice, thank you for the love, Jen and Juice. Right? When you finally trust your own voice, you're no longer easily swayed. Right? He said, that will bother. Sean, I see you. Right? You're no longer easily swayed. You're no longer like where people just tell you to go do something. You go, yeah, you're right. I think I should start doing that. No, you think about it and you go, okay, well, I'll keep that in mind. But I'm going to do what feels good for me. I'm going to do what's right for me. See, when you finally trust your own voice, you're not cold. You're centered. When you finally trust your own voice, you're not distant. Thank you for the love. I appreciate that, right? Thank you so much, man. Pressure. Appreciate the love. When you finally trust your own voice, you're not distant. You're disconcerting. You understand what I'm saying? That is called growth. That is called growth. All right? So when you're in a season, so if any of you are in a season where you're learning to listen to yourself again, take your time. Thank you for the heart me. If you're in the season where you're learning to listen to yourself again, take your time. There's no rush. Don't let nobody speed or rush your process of becoming and going where you want to go. Don't let nobody rush your process. You understand? We had enough of that. We had enough of people swaying us. We had enough of people taking everybody's ideas. It's time to tap into your intuition and do what feels true to you. For real. Do what is true to you. And that's why right here in my position, in my relationship, I was like, yo, there's a point where I said, it's time for me to go. I said, yo, it's time for me. I got to do what's true for me. I'm holding up all this. I'm holding up everything. And I'm like, yo, this is a crazy burden. This shit felt uphill the whole time. Even though I smiled, even though there was so many good times and moments, it was like, yo, thank you for the love. Pressure. I appreciate that. Thank you. You know what I mean? I was like, I felt so much that I'm like, yo, I had to do what was true for me. I said, bro, you playing yourself, man. You playing yourself right now, bro. It's time. It's time for you to do what you was meant to do, man. And I left gracefully, respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Still wanting that person to win. Just not here. Do your thing. You get what I'm saying? So again, if you're in a season of where you're learning to listen to yourself again, take your time because rebuilding self-trust is sacred work. That is a sacred thing to do. All right? I appreciate that push. Right? I'm telling you, rebuilding self-trust is sacred. That should be something you cherish. That's between you and you. Not you and your kids, not you and your parents, not you and your partners, not you and your friends, just you and you. But why do you think they call it self-trust? Why do you think they call it self-sabotage? Why do you think they call it self-discipline? Because it's nobody else's job to do it but yours. So when you say my job on this planet is to be self-disciplined, my job is to, that's why they call it intuition. It's in you, right? Inspiration, it's inside of you. Nowhere else. So when people say, man, I'm just trying to find myself, there is nothing to find. I promise you. You have never been here before on this day. You probably was a squirrel or a bird in your last life or whatever you was. You didn't see this day. You didn't see January 15, 2026. So you've never been here. There is nothing to find. You're supposed to create. That's what you're supposed to do in this time. Create who you going. Create who you're becoming. Create the lifestyle. Create the relationships. Create that health. Create. There is no finding. So let's cut the 2026 and finding something. Ain't nothing to find yourself. I'm trying to get back to my old me. No, you're not. The old you was willing to deal with shit that you're not willing to deal with now. Because if you want the old self, you got to take everything that comes with it. Yeah, you might have been more fit and more loving, but you also let people overstep their boundaries a lot too. So if you're gonna take the old you back, you got to take all of that back. You don't just let me just get a little piece of that and that's good. All right, let me get a little piece of that too. Yeah, I'm gonna take that. Oh, no, I'm gonna leave all that shit. Nah, it don't work like that. If you change one thing, you got to change everything. You understand what I'm saying? So if we could go back, what up, Eazie? Right, big energy. If you got another super fan in the building, you got to understand that. No, I'm not. You get me, Chooch? If you got another super fan in the building, shout out to the squad in here. But listen, if you got some type of value from this live, comment the number 7, please, in the chat right now. If you got some type of value from this live, comment the number 7 in the chat right now. Okay? I see you, Jen, Pressure, me, I can't really see the name, but I see you. Stroud, I see you. Big Energy. Hey, Breezy, what's up, baby girl? Audrey, if you got some type of value from this live, come this up, and I appreciate that, for real. All jokes aside, I really, really appreciate that. Because, again, the quickest way to lose something is not to share it. The quickest way to lose something is not to share it. So I hope that some of you guys took some notes. You grabbed some information, right? For real. You grab some information and you absorb. And you never know, bro. Right? You absorb. You absorb, apply, and repeat. Absorb, apply, and repeat. You get what I'm saying? Take what I'm saying, apply it. Because people say knowledge is power. It's not power if you don't apply it. The application of knowledge is what makes it power. When you fill out the application, what are you doing? You're applying something for something. When you apply the information, that's when the power takes over. That's when life takes over. Right? That's when you grab control of where you at and where you want to be. That's a huge difference when you can do that. Because now you're taking the power. All right? So real quick, there's one thing I want you guys to do really quick. There's one thing I want you guys to do. I'm going to put it up on the screen really fast. Right? This is important. Because here's the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to do a positivity tour. Right? The goal is to do a positivity tour. Okay? And I'm going to tell you how that's going to work. Right? I'm going to tell you how that's going to work. Real quick. Hold that down. Right? Hold on. If you're on my YouTube, I appreciate you guys tapping in. I love you guys. Stay blessed. Stay amazing. Right? I will catch you guys on the next time. All right? Peace and love. You know the vibes. Thank you guys for tapping in.